And welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Rusty, and this is me channel where I talk about my favorite movies, mostly horror, and my favorite music, mostly metal. And I'm back with my 7D shag haircut, which I just got in Blackpool. So I'm glad to be back, kinda. Not really. Yeah, not really, but in any event, I am. And yeah, we're going to continue. I'm going to do another album review of a favorite album of 2022. And this one I got last month when it came out, and that is Ozzy Osbourne. He's back. Patient number 9. Another 10 out of 10 album to me. I like Ordinary Man, but Ordinary Man was like a 9 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10. This is a fantastic album. If you got a problem with it, there's something wrong with you. Okay, I mean, if you're an Ozzy fan, so it hits all the right. It hits all the right moves. It makes all the right moves in my soul. So yes, patient number 9. Okay, we start this album off with the title track featuring Jeff Beck. He's got a lot of guests on this album, which I thought was pretty cool. I guess considering, everything that's happened to him lately, it was the best way to go rather than just forming a band. Of course, if he goes on tour, which, who knows if he will with his health, but that's okay. Pro tip, Kate Bush. You've ever heard of Kate Bush, right? And that silly Stranger Things down. Not that I'm unhappy about it, but everybody knows about Kate Bush now. But there are those of us who knew about Kate Bush in 1985. So it's kind of like, I'm glad that she has a resurgence of all of this. But here's a little bit of trivia. Kate Bush went on tour with her first 2 albums, and a guy got killed. I believe it was a lighting director or a music engineer. It was somebody, but it fell on him and killed him. She took that. I don't know why she would take it in the way that she did, but she took it in a manner in which she never toured again. She never toured again. You understand? Kate Bush has released all of these albums. Kate Bush has never been on a tour, ever, after that. The Tour of Life, or whatever it was called in like 1979, 1980. She's never been on tour. She makes appearances. She did that thing at where she, hung out for a couple of nights at that theater a few years ago, and did some shows. But so she's performed live, but it's just been like appearances here and there. She's never went on a tour. So, Ozzy doesn't have to go on a tour. I know he wants to, but he doesn't have to go on a tour. He can just put out good albums and we'll be fine with it because she's a bagillionaire from all the music that she's put out, and she ain't never did a damn thing about touring since then. So I would love him to go on tour, but if his health won't allow it, or if he needs to retire from that kind of thing, he can just make appearances like Kate Bush did. Or does. So the title track features Jeff Beck. I absolutely love Patient number 9. It is so typical Ozzy, and yeah, it's a fantastic song. I love the video to it, and like I said, I like Ordinary Man, but I do like this better than Ordinary Man. Ordinary Man had some good stuff on it too. I'll have to do a review of that. But the second track is Immortal featuring Mike McCready. If you don't know who that is, he's from Pearl Jam. Okay, so he's the guitarist from Pearl Jam, and they do the song Immortal, which is an absolutely fantastic song. Rocks very hard. There's only, just like that Bush album, there's only, I think there's only 2 slower tempo songs on this album. It just rocks out from beginning to end. The third track is Parasite, which brings back Zakk Wylde, one of the prettiest guitarists that ever grace the stage until he decided to become some kind of mountain man, although he did keep his beautiful hair. So I will give him credit for that. He may have done the I'm a Skid Row bum beard thing that people are doing these days, but he did not shave his head like a fucking white supremacist skinhead, which is the other half of that fashion fad that I just don't get. Why do you want to look like a convict that just got out of prison? I don't get it. But whatever. Beside the point. But, so Parasite features Zakk Wylde, another banger, complete hard-rocking banger. The fourth track is No Escape From Now, and it features Tony Iommi on guitar, which he did a fantastic job. I mean, he's not slowed down either. You know, as far as his guitar technique and stuff goes. I mean, I know they're all getting up there, but he's obviously not got arthritis in his fingers. I can tell you that right now. So No Escape From Now is fantastic. We then get One of Those Days featuring Eric Clapton. I will not discuss his foray into political dementia at his elderly age. I don't know why all these elderly people go crazy. John Voight and that other guy, the guy from The General's Daughter and Videodrome. See, I'm so sick by his dementia that I forgot his name. But, so yeah, One of Those Days featuring Eric Clapton on guitar. He's still got it too. I mean, he may be a nutcase and a offensive dumbass, but does he still have the moves on the guitar? Yeah, he definitely does. We bring back Jeff Beck again for 1,000 Shades, which is also fantastic. That's kind of I want to say that's kind of like it's got a lot of bluesy Pink Floyd sounding stuff to it, to me, that song. 1,000 Shades. Mr. Darkness brings back Zakk Wylde. He's featured in that. Nothing Feels Right is track 8, which also brings back Zakk Wylde. Then we have The Evil Shuffle, track number 9, again with Zakk Wylde. So Zakk Wylde's sticking with him. I think if he was to make appearances or tour, Zakk will always show up. I like some of his solo stuff, but he really doesn't have anything better to do. You shouldn't turn down Ozzy, right? Degradation Blues brings back Tony Iommi on guitars. So Tony Iommi is on 2 tracks that he worked with. And then Dead and Gone, God Only Knows, and Darkside Blues, which is sort of just like a fast, Darkside Blues is not really, it's like a minute and 47 seconds. It's just sort of a little mosh, kind of thing. It doesn't say who did it, but it's not even really what you would call a song. But it's an hour and 1 minute, it's the entire album. So it's a good, long, hard rock listen. All of the songs are decently thing. Patient number 9 is 7 minutes and 21 seconds. So we're kind of getting into epic Love Bites. We're kind of getting into kind of Love Bites time epicness. And Pink Floyd also did very long songs. But Patient number 9 is 7 minutes and 21 seconds. No Escape From Now is 6 minutes and 46 seconds. So most everything is over 4 minutes, except for Immortal, which is only 3 minutes with the Pearl Jam, Mike McCready. But yeah, and I like long songs. I like it to be long and enough for me to get into. Everything is over 4 minutes, with a bunch of them being over 5 minutes, except for Darkside Blues, which is sort of like a little outro instrumental mosh, is all that is. But I love each and every one of these songs. This is a 10 out of 10 album, no filler, no skips. I just did Art of Survival, which is also a 10 out of 10, no filler, no skips. I understand that I can still love an album, and so can you, so can anyone. We can love an album and there can be a couple of mediocre filler tracks and there can be some skips. I'm talking to you, Metallica, with Load and Reload. There's some great songs on those two albums. But if I can't get to the skip button fast enough, I'm going to call you all kind of dirty names. Because there's some shit on those albums, which you would expect when Metallica tries to become a grunge band. Why Metallica thought that they could do that. You know, hey, let's be Soundgarden. Really? Are you sure? I mean, Megadeth did that, but Megadeth did it right. You know, they went a little grunge. Like with Euthanasia, they went a little grunge. You could hear it. You could hear the 90s grunge influence on Euthanasia. And they did it correctly. Metallica didn't do that. Metallica was like, no, we are going to change the complete sound. On these songs, we are just going to be Soundgarden. And it's like, well, no, shouldn't you just kind of sound a little like Soundgarden? Because let me tell you, James, you don't have the vocal to you don't sound that way. It's just wrong. But so like Load and Reload, I had them. I think I still have them. Not all. I mean, I would still get them again. I think both of those albums have one song on it that would actually make my top 20, top 10 Metallica songs. Memory Still Remains. Oh, that is a fucking badass song. So, I'm getting off track here on it. But what I'm saying is that what will make a 10 out of 10 album to me, you know, I'll still buy Load. I'll still buy Reload. Not Saint Anger. I actually had Saint Anger and I threw it in the garbage. That's the biggest pile of shit. It's the only album that I don't find any redeeming value in of Metallica's is Saint Anger. But why he wanted to play garbage cans instead of a drum kit, I don't know. But that's for another album review, isn't it? But so I'll still buy Load. I'll still buy your album if there's a couple of songs I have to skip. It's whether it balances out or not. You know, you start an album out evenly and then it's like banger, 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 skip, banger, 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 skip, banger, 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 banger. Okay, the album is great. You know, it just has a couple of songs I have to skip. So that can still be fine. But to be a 10 out of 10, you can't have a filler. You can't have a skip filler. You can't have a song that makes me need to skip it to keep the groove, or to just, it's really not a good song and I don't like it. And yeah, Art of Survival was that way. The Kingdom was that way. Patient Number 9, I think there's only one song that I skip on Ordinary Man, and that's what caused it. And it's not the ballad Ordinary Man. I like that song. Can't remember what the song is, and there's probably a good reason for that, right? I never listened to the motherfucker. But there is no skip on this. Each and every one of these songs bangs me. And that's important, I think, to a fan, you know. Now, granted, if we're talking about fandom here, so I am an Ozzy fan, so I'm going to have a lot bigger leeway than you if you are not an Ozzy fan. You know, well, I like a few of his songs here and there, but I'm not like a super fan. Well, then you are going to probably have less bangers and more skips per album than an actual fan of that genre or his singing or his type of music. So, you know, you have to take that into consideration too. When you're talking about your opinion of an album, is how much of a fan you are of that. So with Ozzy, I am a super Ozzy fan. My favorite Ozzy album is No Rest for the Wicked. But I love everything else too. I don't dislike any Ozzy album. I am a super fan. So, but I still am honest. There is a song, I can't remember which one it is, but there is a song on Ordinary Man I can't stand. So even our heroes and idols can take a dump. You know, they do have to take a dump like everybody else. So Ozzy did dump on one song, and I didn't like it. But there is no skips on this album. It is an absolutely fantastic album. I love it through and through. And what is important about a 10-10 no skip album to me is that I don't have to worry about it. You don't have to wait and get to the button or the mouse or whatever on your stereo. You don't have to move. You can put a 10-10 no skip album on and you can listen to it from beginning to end, and you don't have to move. You can go fix a sandwich. You know, you can fix you a bacon bunty or something, and you're not going to have to come and run because that song came on. You can go clean the house. You can go do whatever because it's a no-skip album and you like every song on the album. And I love when I come across an album like that. And there are people that do it for me. Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Love Bites. Love Bites is pretty much the best heavy metal band on the planet right now is Love Bites. And they've had 6 releases, and since 2017 they've got 3 EPs, and now they're fixing to come out with the 4th studio album. Not to mention 4. They've got 4 live concert Blu-rays. I've got them all. And there's no such thing as a Love Bites album with any skip on it. So, yeah. You've never heard of Love Bites? You really should. Love Bites is the best heavy metal band on the planet currently as we speak. And they took that position probably a year and a half ago. I mean, after you come out with 4 or 5 banger albums that are no skip, 10-10, most wonderful things you've ever heard, you have to admit that you can still love everything else, Nightwish, Annette Olson, you know, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, whatever, but Love Bites is the best metal band right now that there is to me. But I love finding a 10-10 no skip album. I think Ozzy upped the level from Ordinary Man. And if you don't have Patient Number 9, go here to YouTube and type in Patient Number 9 full album and listen to it. It's one of the best things about YouTube now is that you can preview an album before you go and buy it, just by going and, you know, clicking it in. Ozzy Osbourne, Patient Number 9, full album. Listen to it, and you will hear the majesty and all. But I love it. I bought it. And you know, physical media matters, okay? You want to keep your shit in iTunes or Spotify or whatever like that? Go right ahead. When the bombs come, I can listen to Ozzy. You won't be able to listen to shit, and you're not borrowing mine. So, yeah, there you go. When the EM pulse happens and you can't get on the internet, or you forget your password and the password to the email that you signed up with iTunes with, how you gonna get it back? All the shit you bought, gone. Spotify. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when the internet crashes? And if it don't, all you gotta do is lose your password book. I know all about that. Password book. All my games, all my sites, everything in my password book. And it also says what email they're attached to, too, so you know. But what happens? My niece lost her Steam account. Oh, my brother was so mad because he had bought her like a bunch of games. Okay, not only did she forget her password to Steam with all the games he had bought her, but she forgot the password to her email account. So help, I have no password. That's okay. We send a code to your email. But I lost the code. I lost the email. I mean, I don't have the password to the email either. You know what Steam said? Can't help you. Can't help you. And I'm okay with that. They can't. That was stupid of her. Can't help you. Okay? It is your responsibility to keep your password down. It is your responsibility to know what fucking email you attached your account to. And although my brother was like, "Nuh-uh, never again. I'm not buying you another game. Don't make another account." Well, you go to work and buy your own games. But I put 100 games in there for you, and they're gone to the Steam ether because you didn't write down your password to your, And she tried for weeks to guess it. What would I use? Gone. Okay. So yeah, what you gonna do when that happens to you and all of your music on Spotify is stuck behind a wall you can't get to? Don't expect these companies to help because you could be a scammer. You see, the reason why I wasn't upset when Steam did that to her was because, well, you can't prove it's you. You can't get to the email. You can't get into your account. You can't call them. You can't write them and say that you own my account. And then they send a password or they send a validation code to my email because you want to change the password to my Steam account. And then you come and go, I also can't get into this, to the email. So can you do some other way for me to get this account? No. Steam's not going to let you steal my account that way, bitch. It's your fault. You write down your passwords, keep them in a book, keep them in a safe. That's not the only place my passwords are. But anyway, yes, that is long side note there, but support physical media, please. Movies, Blu-rays, DVDs, CDs, because you never know what can happen. Trust me, you never know what can happen. Ozzy's Patient Number 9 is definitely worth a buy to have in your physical collection. If not, go put it in your Spotify, however you want to do it. I'm just going to laugh at you when you lose it all. And you're not borrowing my shit. Not my movies, not my DVDs, not my Blu-rays, not nothing. We don't. My house may look like a Blockbuster DVD, but we don't rent. Okay? There's no cashier, there's no checkout place. Yes, you can browse my shelves and salivate over my collection, but I don't rent. And this isn't the library either. You ain't borrowing shit from me. Can I check it out? You know where I live. Yeah, I do know where you live. It ain't going to have nothing to do with when you scratch up my DVD in your stupid Blu-ray player, is it? No, it's not going to help me. You'll have to pay for it. Then we'll get in, and now we're not friends anymore. See what I mean? No. We don't lend, we don't rent, okay? You can come and look like a museum. I just look like a Blockbuster. I'm not a Blockbuster, and I'm not Spotify. You can't come and borrow my CDs either. But I will see you in the next thing I do. Hopefully those movies will come. I'm waiting on a couple of Blu-rays to come in so that I can film my end of the year top lists. The worst I won't have to because I ain't got none of them. But yeah, I got 2 coming for my top list. They didn't release until the last week of December. What kind of shit is that? So they're still on the way. They should be here in a day or two, and I can film my top list, and I will see you in then. And the next music review or album review, and yes, Ozzy Osbourne, Patient Number 9. Love it, love it, love it. He's still the King Daddy Mac of hard rock. Love you, miss you, bye. Always remember, never forget, you're a very, very special person, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.